Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Spark It Up Tuesday. So, last week, I think it was last week, I had talked about this amazing book, Building a Story Brand by Don Miller. And it is awesome. And honestly, if you haven't gotten it by now or downloaded it, you're insane. You have to do it. It's a great book. It's about marketing, it's about branding for your business, but done in such a cool, clever, and straightforward way. And I've read a lot of marketing books, taken a lot of little courses on that, and this is by far my favorite. Probably of all my business books, it's one of my favorites. So a lot of people inquired about it. I know some people went out and bought the book, which I think is great. And I was asked to talk a little bit more about it today, so that's what I'm going to do. So the book obviously gets really in depth, but the main point that Don Miller makes, not only in this book, but in his story brand marketing business that he has, where you can fly down to, I think he's in Nashville, and take these live courses, and it's not cheap, but I've known about 20 people who have done it so far, and they said it is by far the best money they've ever spent. So I'm hoping to do that when we can travel again easily soon. But basically, this is what he's getting at when it comes to marketing. So if you think about marketing for your business, there's two things that you should know. The first one is both of them are about the way our brains work, how you're going to market to someone. So how our brains work, and you think about your customer's brain. So our brains are designed to do two things. One is to survive, and he has all kinds of research to back this up, but it makes perfect sense too. But our brains are designed to survive and thrive, but basically to keep us alive. So whenever we're faced with something new, like an ad, an email, a podcast, whatever it is, the first thing our brain is saying is this going to help me survive? On the most basic level, that's what our brain is looking at. Are you going to help me survive? So that's one thing that you kind of want to speak to, is how you're going to help your customer not die, how you're going to help them live. That's the first thing. And you got to be super clear about that real quick, about what it is that you're offering that helps their survival in some way, shape, or form. And the second thing is, our brains are always looking to conserve calories. They just burn so many calories, especially nowadays with social media and our phones and everything, and we're just constantly burning off calories. So the brain is always looking not to burn anymore if it doesn't have to. So it doesn't really want to have to work really hard to figure out who you are, what you do, what this is, anything like that. So to be clear right from the beginning and super simple, like cavemen words, just so you get your point across. Those are probably the two biggest points that he makes about marketing, and where all the big guys, or even little guys, they get it wrong. He has this great story about the Seattle Seahawks game that he had went to too, but I don't think I have time to get into it today. But it was a great story about a multi-million dollar ad campaign that just went terribly wrong because it was very confusing. And sometimes I think, especially bigger companies, try and be clever, and clever doesn't always work if you're going to confuse someone. So anyway, those are the two basic takeaways. Trying in making your marketing super clear, easy to understand, and how you're going to help that person survive. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is he gets into your marketing should be a story, because our brains are designed to wrap around a story. Cavemen all those years ago would, chisel stories on the wall, like pictographs or whatever they were called, on the wall of the cave. Like, that's the way our brains are designed. So he talks about the story that you want to get across in your marketing, and there's 5 parts. There's the character of the story, and that's not you, that's your client. So they're the character. You're drawing them in with, hey, here's this character. They're pretty cool. That's your customer. This character has a problem. So immediately you're going to identify that you know that your customer has a problem, whatever that problem is. And the third part of the story is, and then this character with the problem meets a guide. Now that's where you come in. That's where I come in my marketing. I'm the guide. And the guide has already experienced this problem or knows all about this problem. And in some way, shape, or form, you want to get across in your marketing that to your client, to this character, I understand your pain and I can help you get out of it. So that's the third part. There's a character that has a problem, and you as the guide step into life and say, hey, I can solve your problem. The fourth part is, You have a plan. The guide has a plan. So this would be Yoda in the Star Wars series. Yoda is the guide, and he's going to help Luke Skywalker. Yoda has a plan. You need to have a plan. The plan is whatever it is you're selling. It's your product, it's your service, whatever it is. Here's my plan that's going to solve your problem. Make that connection real quick in your marketing to your customer. And the fifth part is, and then we call them to action. So especially when you're talking about your website, it is so important not to hide your email, your phone number, how they can get in touch with you. That should be, whether you like it or not, bright, bold, and center, and many times make it so easy to call your customer to action. So if you have a character, and that's your customer or the person visiting your website for the first time, you're going to immediately say, hey, you have a problem and I know what it is. The third part is, and I'm going to help you with that because you're the guide. I'm the person that's going to help you with that. I'm Yoda. The fourth part is, here's a little bit about how I'm going to solve this problem for you. And the fifth part is, all you got to do is call me or email or whatever it is that your call to action is. So those are five basic parts to the story that you want to get out right across immediately on your website in your marketing of any kind. I just thought it was genius. Thousands of people have taken this course, have as well. So just something to kind of keep in mind when it comes to marketing. His tagline is, if you confuse, you'll lose. And it is really true. Our brains don't want to work that hard. They do all day. We want to know exactly what it is that you do in 2 seconds or less. And we can say, oh, okay, I get it. And then you start to like the person, and then you're going to dig deep. Okay, so that's it. Again, me speaking for Don Miller, sort of StoryBrand. Well, met him a couple times briefly with a bunch of other people. Great book, great guy, great course. I highly recommend looking into him. That's your educational moment for today. Thanks for watching. Bye.